Hello, chosen black sheep. It is a magical day, a day I hope to inspire you in, so here we go. The funny thing about me is no matter what age I am or how old I get, I always feel like the youngest one in the room. And it's always been this way, but it's something I didn't always like or accept about myself. It made me feel unimportant and inferior in a group or in public. Let me restate this correctly. I made myself feel inferior because I carried a childlike whimsy in my heart that not everyone around me got or understood. And because I was misunderstood, I felt ashamed of who I was. I was ashamed that I wasn't important enough for anyone to take the time to get to understand or know. It was here that I shut down and held back the most magical parts about myself. I did not know that this would lead to the darkest parts of my life, and so they began. It wasn't what people didn't get about me, it was what I didn't get or understand about myself. My authentic self-expression is naturally who I am, and it is who God knows I am. And I went through hell to get to breakfast, just to gain the knowledge that from hell to breakfast, I'd rather be dead than be something I'm not. I had to learn the hard way that my most priceless possession is the authentic expression of who I am. This knowing came through much anguish and suffering, because I could never seem to get myself to believe it was myself who was the answer. I never wanted to believe I was the answer because I never felt I was adequate or good enough to be the answer. I wasted so much time wishing and wanting someone or something outside of me to whisk me away and save me from myself, because there is no way it was me who I'd been searching for all my life. But how surely mistaken I was. The divine was going to teach me that who I am is the only reason I'm here, and it would only be through my authentic expression that I would be triumphant in this life. I had to know the only answer was me. The best bet I could ever make was to go all in on myself, and instantly the world around me began to change. Chosen black sheep, if you don't bet on yourself, nobody else will, because it is you who has to place the first bet. It was here in my life that I realized the childlike whimsy would have to come back full force, because at my core, it is who I am. Here is a short poem by Shel Silverstein called The Voice. There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside. Shel Silverstein is one of the most creative, insightful, most whimsical poets of our time. He is one of my all-time favorites because he understood what most will never get. He understood that the childlike whimsy within us never dies, and he knew if he could capture that within us, he would inspire us to create and think from the childlike whimsical space we all hold within. In 10th grade, I joined drama because I wanted to become more confident, and I felt like standing on stage in front of my high school peers would really help me out. And thankfully it did. It also gave me an outlet to artistically express myself. It was one of the best classes that I ever took because it taught me self-acceptance. One of our best assignments in drama was when we had to perform a movie scene, poem, or short sketch that we had completely memorized. Well, I, of course, chose a poem I will always love and cherish by Shel Silverstein, and I only feel it's right to leave you with it now. It's called Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout Would Not Take the Garbage Out. Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. She'd scour the pots and scrub the pans, candy the yams and spice the hams. And though her daddy would scream and shout, she simply would not take the garbage out. And so it piled up to the ceilings. Coffee grounds, potato peelings, brown bananas, rotten peas, chunks of sour cottage cheese that filled the can and covered the floor, cracked the window and blocked the door. With bacon rinds and chicken bones, drippy ends of ice cream cones, prune pits, peach pits, orange peel, gluppy glumps of cold oatmeal, pizza crusts and withered greens, soggy beans and tangerines, and crusts of black burned buttered toast, and gristly bits of beefy roast. The garbage rolled on down the hall. It raised the roof, it broke the wall. I mean, greasy napkins, cookie crumbs, globs of gooey bubblegum, cellophane from green bologna, rubbery, blubbery macaroni, peanut butter caked and dry, curdled milk and crusts of pie, Mouldy melons, dried up mustard, eggshells mixed with lemon custard, cold French fries and rancid meat, yellow lumps of cream of wheat. At last the garbage reached so high that it finally touched the sky, and all the neighbours moved away and none of her friends would come to play. And finally, Sarah Cynthia Stout said, "Okay, I'll take the garbage out." But then, of course, it was too late. The garbage reached across the state, from New York to the Golden Gate. And there, in the garbage she did hate, poor Sarah met an awful fate that I cannot right now relate, because the hour is much too late. But children, remember Sarah Stout and always take the garbage out. Now remember I love you until next time.